Hi, this is Kim White with the My Sexy Business team. I'm with my co-host,
Coni Meyers with Kick Butt Leadership.
And we are here at the Hope to Hope Conference, day number 3. I can't even believe that it's day number 3. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm actually overwhelmed with the numbers that are coming in, the viewers and the messages and everything that's happening, because we expect great things, but when they happen bigger than what we can even imagine, it's even more exciting. So everyone that has been participating, thank you. Our first guest this morning should be like the top of everybody's list to follow. I'm going to tell you some stuff about her that she's probably going to get me when I get off of this, this live session. But this girl is someone who waltzed into my life and is absolutely beautiful inside and out. And she is the real deal. I mean, there's a lot of people that can be transparent or vulnerable. And then there's people that are like so real that there's nothing left. Like it's completely open. And that's Christie Garcia of Sparkle Your Biz. She is an accountability strategy coach that I'm telling you, she can rock your business. She can rock your world because she's got just some amazing ways of looking at, your stuff. And she holds you accountable in a way that I don't know if I've ever had anyone that's held me accountable like she does. She does not play. She's beautiful. She's smiley. She's fun. But let me tell you, she does not play. And anyway, I just appreciate you being here this morning, Christie.
Oh, it's such an honor to be here. The Hope to Hope conference is amazing. And your whole reason of putting it on is also amazing. It's just such a beautiful thing. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, I think it's totally appropriate for you to be here. You saved this conference this year, or this conference. This is the 5th conference, the 4th by the Hope to Hope name, but it is the 5th time we've done this conference in honor of my son who passed away almost 17 years ago. And I will be honest, I have a new class that I'm super excited. I'm teaching in a different way, and I got caught up in all things to do with that launch and to do with the challenge group that went with it and to do with all of that, and looked up, and time had passed so quickly, and I'm talking days and weeks, not minutes and hours, that I panicked because I was so close to the conference and I hadn't done a lot of the things. It takes a lot of work to do a conference, and there's a lot of back things that no one really sees unless they're a part of it. And so when I panicked, I didn't really say anything, but Christie knows me well, and she asked me what was up. And I finally just told her I'm in huge overwhelm. We all get in overwhelm, but I was in huge overwhelm because I didn't want to fail to show up for this conference in a big way. And so my little biz bestie over there in Canada, she decides that she can handle some of the things on my plate, and she scrapes off most of my plate and went to work. And I will tell you, this is not a joke. This conference, everyone should thank her that has enjoyed this conference, because I honestly don't know if it even would have been able to have happened. And I don't cancel things. And so it may have been me coming on for a session saying, we don't have any speakers, we don't have any dates, we don't have anything, but thank you for coming. But she has done some things that were beyond amazing, because not only did she schedule everything, she set up some processes for the conference that will continue to go on. And
I make it easier.
I can't in a million years thank you enough. And I know you keep telling me to stop it, but I'm not gonna. So you might as well just hear me, because you are such a blessing to me, and I'm so thankful for you. We can't hear her.
Uh-oh.
We can't hear you, so that's a good thing if you're arguing with me.
That's why the sound went out.
I don't have control over it, or I might have done that on purpose, but I don't. Do you? Oh, okay. She'll have to come back on. We have technical glitches, and you know what? We're just okay with it.
It is
because
what it is.
We do this messy, but we do it. Hello?
Everything I do is messy. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
My messy life is translating into the video.
I love it. Well, you know, that's one of the things that makes you amazing at what you do, though, is that you understand messy. Like you weren't born, and this is something that I get tickled, even at myself for doing this. We get frustrated with technology or processes or systems, or even trying to do the very thing we know we're supposed to be doing because we don't already know whatever it is. I should have been born knowing how to put on red lipstick. I mean, I should have been born knowing how to push the right buttons for technology, mind you, that wasn't even available when I was born. But we get that in our heads that we should know something.
That's a good point.
And we do that to ourselves. Like it's something we do to ourselves. And you are such an amazing example of, okay, we don't know, but what are we going to do about it? Like you are, Nicole Thompson is like probably the fastest implementer I've ever met, but you are like the fastest, not only implementer, but like no BSer. I don't know how to call it. Like, okay, we don't know how to do this. Okay, by 5 o'clock today, we'll know how to do this. Now, clear your calendar. Or now, you know, get on Zoom and let's just do this. And I'm thinking, oh, okay.
Totally. You need to find out how to do whatever it is you need to do. And there's so many sources at our fingertips. So there's really no reason why it might not take 5 minutes. It might take a couple hours, but everything is figure outable. That's my word for the day. Figure outable, because everything is figure outable.
Yes. And you know, you are exactly right about that. It's just, it's really in our head that we have the problem. It's something we have to shift inside of our mind, because we really do come up against something and we get tired of having to figure out something else. And we think, you know, we figured out 10 things this week, so now we got to figure out something else, you know, but it's normal. That's the part that
in this day and age is totally normal. I mean, every day we've got something new we have to figure out. Yeah. And I'm with you. It's like, oh God, do I have to do this again?
We have on Tamisha and Cheryl and Kim that I can see. Hey, ladies. We are so blessed by like being able to figure out things. But I'm going to take that down another like level, because one of the things that you've done for me in particular, and I know you do this for all your clients, and I know you do this for all of the biz besties that you run with, is we do it together. Like it's just like figuring out something and we don't know. Okay, let's get on Zoom and let's share the screens and let's figure this out. And you have blessed me so much by, and you know, I'm 51 and I'm full grown and I am a princess and I can go on and on, but it feels good to have someone who holds your hand learning something that you feel like you can't learn, or you feel like it's bigger than you are, or you feel overwhelmed. It's all about the feels, you know, it's all about those things. But you are so no baloney that you are, okay, well, you can feel that way, but let's get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it is about having that person or right next to you, or holding your hand, or even just a message away saying, hey, I did it. And having that person being like, yeah, you did, because I knew you could do it. Because we really can do anything we put our minds to. That fear or our mindset sometimes holds us back. And sometimes we just need that other person, whether it's your, you know, accountability partner, it's your spouse, it's your, you know, even your kids, whatever it is, having someone to be accountable to, someone to help you through the process. And yeah, I know I need that, and Kim, you're that for me as well. So it's a partnership, and I always say teamwork makes the dream work. So, you know, it really is. The more minds you have is better. Yes, Miss Coni, it is, right? It's lovely.
Well, and you know, you have you demonstrate in such a huge way what accountability looks like, because we think we know what that means, but there really is a secret kind of to that. Not really a secret. I always use that word just as a funny, but there is a method to accountability that's different than most people use it as. And Mary Jo just popped on. She's a good one to be like on this call too, because she has done some behind the scenes stuff that has saved our bacon for this conference as well. But accountability is not someone coming in and like bossing you around, telling you stuff that you don't know to do. It's something really, it's different. It's, hey, I have this goal. This is my plan. We kind of look at the plan, and if it looks like that's the right strategy, then you show up and ask me, hey, did you do what it took to get there? Or, hey, did you do that first step? Or let me know as soon as you get that done. And that, to me, is a super sexy relationship, because it causes you to do things that when you're left alone, or I'll just use me for an example. When I'm left in my own devices, I will get myself into trouble. I will squirrel or look at something shiny and go, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that. But when I know I've got to answer at 3:00 to you, that whether I did it or not, I'll have it done way early.
It's so true. And you know, you mentioned something about not being bossy, and although I can be a little bossy sometimes, when it comes to accountability, it really is about partnership and really knowing the goal, the end goal, whether it's the other person that has the goal or perhaps you have the goal together, and you really get invested. So when somebody tells me their goal, I'm invested in that goal for them. And it really makes it my goal that it gets accomplished too. So it's a partnership rather than some people think it's, you know, somebody telling somebody to do something. And that really is not the case. It really is a partnership and getting that goal done together.
I like how you put that, though. You invest in what someone else's goal is. Because I can tell you right now, you are so invested, even in this conference. Like, you invested so deeply, and you invest in me every day. So, I mean, I am grateful for that. But I will say, this is not a freak of nature kind of relationship. This is something we all can have if we attract the right people. And, you know, and sometimes we have to hire those people. Sometimes we have to, you know, level up several times before we can get in the arena with those kind of people. You know, I know when I started, I hired mentors and coaches and, you know, people. I was in a mastermind that cost a lot of money, but they took me someplace I could not go by myself. I just couldn't. I hit a ceiling, and I was already what I thought was pretty high level. And then I get in there with them and I'm like, wow, you know, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I didn't even know the possibilities until I got with someone who was ahead of me. And so, you know, I want to encourage you. You can get a mentor or you can get a coach. And you can do that by, if you don't have enough money to get into a, you know, $50,000 mastermind every year, reading books will help you. You know, getting with other people that are going the same direction will help you. Doing things that you have available to you. And you can't use the excuse. Like at the point that I was in the mastermind, I was making, you know, a lot of money to be able to get in that mastermind. But I also was at a place that I could not go any farther. I was hitting my head. I was like that flea in the jar that hits the top of the jar over and over, and then you can take the lid off, and the flea still won't get out because he keeps hitting, he thinks that jar's lid is going to be there. I was that. But I didn't even know that until I got into that group. And they taught me some things that I needed to know that, hey, you're hitting your head on nothing. Like the lid's off and you are still jumping only that high. What's up with that?
Yes, absolutely. And, mentors and, coaches, everybody that can help you, it's such a big investment to yourself. And there are the $50,000 masterminds, and then there's ones that are much less. You need to find out what fits you, your budget, your time commitment, all of those things. But propelling forward, sometimes we really need somebody to, lift us out of the water or the quicksand. And, you've got what it takes. It's just having somebody that is there to cheerlead you on, to help you strategize, come up with some new ideas. We're such creatures of habit that we continuously go back to our old mindset. So sometimes we just need somebody to lift us out of that.
Well, I can tell you what you said is true. But the only thing I'm going to contest in what you said is sometimes. I think we need that all the time.
You're right. We do need that all the time.
Yes. Something that is constant. If we are really high level, and I don't think anybody in our circle's not high level. They have the desire to serve a lot of people, and maybe they don't have the ability to see what that looks like the how part, but they have that desire to do that. And that makes, in my mind, them high level because they're about serving and not just about, the money part. Business is about money. I make no bones about that. You should be making money in your business. But as far as, leveling up is you leveling up. You figuring out how to have a biz bestie and a group of biz besties. I mean, we have the most amazing tribe that people will sometimes hear me and they're like, well, you're kind of bragging because you've got all of these people. And I'm thinking, I am bragging. I'm bragging on them. And I am bragging that we do have an amazing tribe. But here's the thing. You have access. If you're telling me that, you should realize already you have access to this tribe.
I think that's one of the things that people forget. People forget that, especially people that are higher level. They want to serve, they want to give the information. And if you don't have a lot of money, find somebody that's willing to mentor you and help you get to that level where you can go to the next level. Mm-hmm. I think we all have a desire to find the next level for us. I wanted to ask you, Christie, what if somebody's never had a mentor before, or if somebody's never had an accountability partner before, what should they be looking for?
Great question.
That is a great question. Do you see my stall a little bit? Let me think. So really, first off, I want to say in most cases, mentors or accountability coaches or things like that seem to sort of gravitate towards you. If you need one, you just need to keep your eyes open because usually there's one right around the corner. And, talking about it and being expressive of where you're either stuck or where perhaps you're having a problem, there really are people out there listening and want to serve you. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is really looking at somebody who you admire, someone that, is either doing something that you want to be doing or in a way that you want to be doing it, or they hold themselves the way that you would like to hold yourself. Those are different characteristics of the right mentor for you. So that's what I guess I would say, that when you're looking for a mentor, those are the things that I would be looking for.
Your flavor. I mean, everybody teases me about that word, but that is really, I need someone who's my flavor. Not necessarily like me, but I need someone who I can understand because I speak princess and I speak boy. Yeah. I cannot deal with, and that's one of the reasons that you and I do really well, is I can't deal with 14 sentences to say that's not a good idea. To the the point. We've got too much going on every day. I need somebody that looks at something I send over, even graphic wise, and says, no, that's misspelled, or that's ugly, or, just, and it's not a big trying to convince or trying to whatever. And I want to say this too. This is like a really hard thing to say. It's a hard thing for anyone to hear me say. But if you're not coachable, you are wasting your time and theirs.
Yeah.
And if you want to attract someone who's really going to take you to that next level or several levels, you better check yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, check and see if you're telling somebody, because and I'll tell you, this is a pet peeve of mine. I try to help someone, with something that they're not doing correctly, or I know a better way because I'm doing it, or, I'm not just putting guesswork on them. And they'll say, I know. Drives me insane, because I think, okay, you just stopped me. You stopped the flow
Mm-hmm.
of information coming to you from me, because if you already know, you don't need me.
That's right.
And so that's something that if you're looking for a coach, and a good one, make sure that you are actually able to have one. Like, that to me is the biggest qualifier, whether I can work with someone or not. If they don't at least listen and understand and try to understand what it is that is behind what I'm saying, because sometimes we give advice for something, or, we give a strategy for something that seems like that's craziness. Like, that is not what I'm talking about. I want more sales, and you're telling me to do this other thing. Well, it's because that will bring you more sales, but you've got to get over here out of your way, to do this other thing. And then all that will happen. It automatically happens. And we get to where we want to push and just follow the dollars. And then what happens is it ends. I mean, we get a few dollars, but then that's the end of it, because we didn't do it the right way. We wouldn't listen to someone who knew more than we did about it.
I think there's another important point along with that. Many times we don't see what others see in us. And so many times we think, well, they're not hearing what I'm saying. But yes, they are. They're seeing you the way you really are. That's why you can't coach yourself. You can't mentor yourself, because you're not seeing yourself the way the world is seeing you.
Yeah. And, we talk about this all the time about perception. Christie's a big one on, like, producing social proof. Like, if you don't have people who are standing up and saying, you did a great job about something, why? Like, why is there no social proof? Even if your numbers don't match, we've talked about this a lot. Your numbers on social media are kind of, they don't matter as much as we put an importance on them sometimes, but they do matter. So don't just ignore them. If you're just starting out, don't let that stop you. Don't let that slow you down. But your numbers matter in the social proof and the arena of perception, which is really the only way people deal with you online, is that if they perceive you have value, if they perceive you have that social proof. So, I mean, you are you have a great way of explaining all of that.
Yeah, social proof, and first of all, perception is your reality. So although, maybe you only have a few followers and you're an amazing speaker at events and you've got such a big following in real life, but when I go check you out and you have, let's say, 5 followers, 0 reviews, I kind of go, oh, why? And right, so when people look at anyone, it's almost their first. Websites used to be the big thing. You go check them out. Now it's the Facebook page or the Instagram page. And really that's almost the first point of contact. So building that social proof and, spending the extra time to build that is really worth it. It really does. It's your credentials. It's your references that you use to put on a resume is basically what that is people believe in you. They're following you, they're commenting, and they're reviewing you.
And I think when you, and I will tell you someone who comes to mind that's on with us, and that's Kim McGee. Like, she's doing amazing things, and her numbers don't match like how amazing she is. And so it makes me want to rally with her for the world to know like how amazing she is. She's got a great story. She's doing great things. And I literally personally, like no business involved, I literally personally am following her to learn how to eat more plant-based because that's what I need to be doing. And she brings that to the table, but she also is amazing. Like, she has amazing life skills, I guess you can say. And we were talking about the transition. Most people that are doing what she's doing forget where they came from, as far as they forget that hard part of I still want to eat a hamburger, but how can I satisfy that with the plant-based? And that's one of the things she's been doing. It's so awesome because she is doing amazing, and she will continue to do amazing things, I'm sure of it. But I think the social proof, that's one of the things. I want to help her get her numbers up there because I want someone that clicks on and looks to see if she's doing a good job to immediately know, oh wait, she's got a lot of engagement. Like, these people are really liking this, and she's got some big followers. And right. So I try my best to get on when she's on and like help that. And that's something that all of us can do. That doesn't cost any money. If you're at a place where you're watching your pennies, that is something that, you can do for someone. You can do for yourself. You can get in a group and engage with each other's social media, which will give more social proof.
Yeah, absolutely. And, give your besties, give those people that you're following some love. And it comes right back full circle. And the more you're on and engaging with your friends, your besties, the more they're going to be out there in their audience. They're going to gain an audience. And something else that when we were talking about Kim and her following, she's not getting out there enough. It's about serving online as well, and it's a missed opportunity because so many people need those services, and everyone on here, they need your services. So being online is just such an important part of business. Even if you do have an offline portion, it's just still so important to get that social proof and to be able to serve online as well.
Yes, I so agree because, you can be a big influencer, and I'm always saddened. I'll just be honest. I'm a numbers girl. I go look at numbers.
Yeah.
And I am saddened when I see someone who I know is changing the world, but they have, 25 followers.
Right.
And it's always, to me, it's heartbreaking just because the proof is in the pudding, like they're actually doing it. But I want them to collect more people online that can help them serve more. Like, that's what happens is when you get those followers, it's not just to have the numbers. That's the part that I don't want anyone to misunderstand. We don't want big numbers just because we want to look good. I want more followers on my pages for more social proof so that I can serve bigger and bigger and bigger. And I want it to be that. And it's just like this conference. This conference started there. I won't tell the whole story because it's like too long to tell, but it is kind of a smarty pants princess thing. I had a mastermind group that wasn't listening. And I decided I was going to just teach them a lesson by just doing this. And so at 6 o'clock, I want you all to hear this part well. 6 o'clock a.m., when I was going to go live at 9 o'clock a.m., I downloaded the app for Be Live. I didn't have a single speaker lined up. I didn't have a single anything done. At 6:00 in the morning, I start sending out to biz besties and people I knew, hey, can you come on this conference with me? Hey, can you do this? Hey, we had a full conference, a full slate, and it worked. Now, did we have a lot of viewers? No. We had a few, we had a few hundred viewers. Now, fast forward to this one, the fifth one. The fifth one, we've already had, I think I checked last night before I went to bed, so I don't know what happened overnight. But last night before I went to bed, we had already had 30,000 views.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
So far surpassing the last one.
Yes, and I think we're set to pass the last one, which had 110,000 total.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and to me, that's what I mean by, the social proof wasn't even there in the first one. Like, as far as the few hundred people will look at that and go, it's not that big a deal. But it is that big a deal. And look how many people were able to help with offering the hope, because that's what this whole conference is about. There is no selling. I sound like a broken record. There is no selling. There's no recruiting. There is nothing for you to have your guard up. It's simply to enhance and give you hope for whatever you're going through. So if this session doesn't resonate with you, you don't want an online business, you don't care anything about business in general, you don't even, you don't care about eating plant-based. I don't even care whatever we talk about. Then just go to the next session, because the next session is so different. And then the next session is different. And the part that has been so amazing is, and this is the backside to the social proof, the reason we have so many more people is because of the impact we made with that little one. It's the impact we made, that there were so many people that had never spoken online before. And now they're holding their own conferences. There are people who came on and had an incredible story and actually told their story for the first time in their whole life on Hope to Hope. It gives me chills because...
Well, we just had that yesterday with Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl is a good example. I think Cheryl might even be on.
She's on. She is on. Yeah, she's been commenting.
And so, that's another... And I will tell you somebody else that told a personal story for the first time, and we're talking to her.
It's so impactful for the person telling it, too. For it to come out and be in a safe zone to tell it, and feel, that it is out and it impacts other women, other people. It is amazing. It is an amazing experience, and it's such an honor to be able to do it at this particular conference. It's just so full of hope. It's amazing.
Don't you think, Christy, that when you tell something for the first time, because I had something that I expressed, it's been a couple of years ago now, for the first time, and once it's out, it's like there is this lump of coal that's been released out of your body, and all of a sudden you feel lighter, and then you ask yourself, why did I hold it in for as long as I did? It's crazy how we think that by holding it in we are protecting ourselves, when in reality, if we can let it go and express it, then the healing or whatever needs to take place happens.
Absolutely. It's almost like a detoxifying. I think that's the word I used after last time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an amazing feeling.
Well, and I get tickled because people will tell me things privately, and I am bad about telling things, but not those kind of things. I want to clarify. I have a hard time with Christmas, and I have a hard time with exciting things like that, but I have zero trouble keeping private conversations private. That is not a problem. But I do get tickled because someone will tell me something privately, and I will tell them, this is something that you really need to consider telling out loud, because look who you can help. And they will look at me so funny, what do you mean I can help someone else? And I'm thinking, do you really think that you're the only one that has gone through this? Because I did think that. When my son passed away, I thought, I didn't even know anyone that had lost a child. Like in that moment, I couldn't even think of anyone to talk to because how does this work? They were bombarding me with how to plan a funeral, and I had never, like, even, I didn't even know there was a plan behind a funeral. Like, you just show up, it's done, you know?
Right.
And so I'm trying to deal with understanding what has happened and getting my mind wrapped around that this is really true. They're asking me all these questions to make these decisions, which I did not have the capability, I felt like. And then I just felt completely like nobody else had ever gone through that. And I think that's the thing, that particular feeling is really what Hope to Hope Conference is all about.
Cheryl just made a comment here. It says, once it is out, there is something that happens to you, like you have permission to move forward.
Oh,
so yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you know, we have you to thank, Christy, for introducing us to Cheryl. You know, she has been faithful to be on here as well. And she was interviewed yesterday, and she shared for the first time about the loss of her husband and how, you know, she's getting past it. And you are to thank for that. Like, I want to like keep going back to that. You facilitated that, and I am grateful for you because, which I get to be grateful for you every day because you are one of my biz besties. But, you know, that's what we should be doing for each other. We should be encouraging each other to tell our stories to other people and to be authentic and be transparent. And quite frankly, vulnerability is a superpower.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, the bigger the tribe everybody has, the more support you have. So, you know, introducing all of your tribe to others is just such a gift for them and you. The more you grow that, the more support you have for everything that you're going through.
And I want to just speak to the girl part of all of us, the catty, snarky girl that, you know, some of us can be at times. You know, I mean, we all have skin on, so we all have bad days or whatever. But I will say this: you really have to like let that fear go, because when you're afraid to connect with a bunch of women in particular, you lose out. You think you're protecting yourself, but really you're hurting yourself, because yes, there might be one in there that's like snarky or whatever, but you won't take long and they'll be out. If you have a true tribe of people, it doesn't take long for the truth to come out in the wash, is what I say. Is as you go through life, they'll come to the top of we won't be hanging out with her, you know. And it's not a thing of that we don't love her, or it's just I don't have time for that. And if anyone, and I can tell you, if you've ever been ugly to one of the people in my tribe, I'm going to tell you right now, beware of me. Because this princess is nice to everyone, but I do not play when it comes to someone hurting someone else's feelings. And it won't happen on my watch. Like, it just won't. If there's something that happens, you need to talk to that person first. But if that person and you can't work it out, you bring it. You bring it to me if you're in my tribe, because I'm telling you, we'll either hash it out or we'll remove somebody, because it's not, life is too short. Mm-hmm. Life is too short. And usually when somebody's snarky or got an issue, it's really all about them. It's not even about you. So you've got to let that guard down and that fear down, mm-hmm. so that you can have a circle of biz besties. And you can have a circle of people who support you. Because I'm telling you, I've got on speed dial, like my tribe of ones that I can send a SOS out to. And maybe not everybody's available at the same time. But, you know, this tribe is so amazing, though, because I didn't even send out a SOS. You came to me saying, I know there's something up. And you handled like all of this stuff for this conference. And I am so thankful, because like I was about to crash and burn with, there was no way I could get everything I wanted to get done. There was no way. But I thought there was, like, you know.
If you have the right tribe, that's a big indicator, is that they'll come to you. I absolutely put the SOS if, you know, people aren't coming to you, but that's the thing about having the right tribe is you get the vibe. Even if you're not even talking to them, you wake up and they're on your mind and you just know that they need you. And, you know, building the tribe, getting past the fears of, you know, of competitiveness, of, oh no, they might do the same thing as I do. They don't do it the same way. It doesn't matter. A tribe is just so important. I can't say it enough of how important it is to have other like-minded women and men in your life to share that with.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's so true.
And you never, like, you can never lose. And I know everybody probably is laughing that I say the same thing over and over, but I mean it. You cannot lose by adding to the water. All of our boats rise when that water rises. And so if you think about it, you bring your bucket of water and you look at your bucket and you think, okay, if I pour this in here, then I don't get something.
Right.
But you're not understanding. If there's 30 people in your tribe pouring one bucket of water into that water, you just rose higher than you could have ever if you'd have held onto your one bucket.
Yeah.
I mean, It's so important. And I do think that we get, like, as you called it, vibes. I think we do know when another person needs something. And we don't always know, and we don't always, you know, we can miss it because we're busy. But it was such a blessing to know that I wasn't alone in getting this done. And, you know, and Miss Connie's been from the very first one, the messiest one of all. She's been a part of all of them. And that to me is like priceless. You can't buy that. I can't go and pay a team to do what the Biz Besties can do for a mission. We're on a mission to help people. We're on a mission to be good to people.
I think that's an important point, is that when you have the tribe around you that you have, everybody wants to support you. Everybody wants to support one another. If I can do anything to help Christie, I will do it, because I know that we're all coming from the same place of heart. Mm-hmm. And because you don't get involved with Hope to Hope if it's all about me, because there's nothing about me in Hope to Hope. It's all about serving others.
Yeah. So
the people that show up in this, it's all about everybody supporting one another, and particularly supporting Kim.
Yeah.
Well, and I appreciate that part. Like, I can't say enough how much I appreciate everyone that watches, everyone that comments, everyone that likes or loves us, you know, everyone that does anything to help Hope to Hope, because this is not something that is, again, selling or recruiting. It's not that. It's connecting. We want to connect people with people who need them. We want to connect with, you know, those people. And I'm telling you, you need accountability and you're not ready for it. Do not call Christie Garcia. If you're going to play small, do not bother her. Don't even bother. But if you're ready to, like, really go out there and serve big, and I mean big, then she's your girl. Like, she's your flavor when it comes to that. And if you want to mess around, I mean, we have so much fun. Oh my goodness, the Biz Bestie crew is like hysterical because we have a great time. I don't like to do anything that's not fun. And we do lots of fun things, but I can tell you this tribe works their booties off to accomplish things so that we can serve bigger. You know, so do you have any final words, Christie? Because we have gone so far over time.
Way beyond.
I will leave it with, you're not alone. Everyone started at zero. Everyone started with 0 followers. Everyone started with 0 clients. Everyone started with 0. And so look above, look at everyone else, and really be inspired And there's lots of hope for you in every aspect of your life. So listen to everyone else and all of the calls, because every single one of them offers something different, a new piece of hope, and you can take something from every single one of them.
Well said. Well said.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For being on here, but thank you the most for being my biz bestie and saving the conference.
And
I'm embarrassed, but
we love you. We love you. So, who are you?
Coni Meyers with Kickbutt Leadership.
And I'm Kim White with the My Sexy Business Team. We are at the Hope to Hope Conference. We will be back at 10:30 Central Standard Time. Join us for the next session because it will be amazing sauce as well.